Hello and welcome everyone to the scariest Daily 8 of the year. Happy Halloween, everyone. Phil Pinarski here, dressed as a guy who is ready to bring you the top 8 stories that you need to know for your Thursday. We'll get into your trick-or-treating forecast as well as some other Halloween-themed stories in just a bit. But first, we have to check out our top story of the day. An international student at the University of Michigan was arrested and charged after illegally registering to vote and casting a ballot earlier this week. According to the Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, the 19-year-old Chinese international student falsely claimed to be a U.S. citizen when they registered and voted at an early voting site back on Sunday. Benson said that the vote will still be counted in the 2024 election, as it had already been put through a tabulator before election officials were notified of the error. The Michigan Attorney General's office is now also investigating the student for perjury and attempting to vote as an unauthorized elector. And speaking of the election, I know things have been pretty hectic for some with all of the news leading up to Tuesday's big day. It can be a bit stressful out there, but there are ways to minimize that stress. We spoke to a therapist recently who offered several tips to keep us as level-headed as possible on before, during, and after the election. Some of the tips include journaling, taking a deep breath, turning off our phones and disassociating for a bit, maybe even grabbing yourself a treat, because at the end of the day, we all deserve a little self-care every now and again. OddEven Parking begins in Grand Rapids tomorrow. This is your reminder to make sure that you are parking on the right side of the street starting tomorrow. On odd number days like November 1st, you'll have to park on the odd numbered side of the street from 1 a.m. to 6 p.m. and vice versa on even days. This is also to allow plows and street sweepers to do their jobs more effectively. Even if there is no snow on the ground, you must still abide by the rules. If you fail to do so, you could face up to a $20 fine. This will be in effect until April 1st. And also starting tomorrow is the return of Restaurant Week in Grand Rapids. This is the 15th year. Restaurants in the city have offered specialty crafted menus for everyone to enjoy and possibly allow them to find their new favorite spot. There are 3 different price points from $25 to $45 this time around, and over 70 participating restaurants you will be able to choose from. We have more information, including a look at some of those menus, which you can find inside our story on woodtv.com. And it is Halloween, and what better way to celebrate than with a good ghost story? And one Grand Rapids organization has lots of them. The West Michigan Ghost Hunting Society has been investigating some of the area's most haunted locations, from the First United Methodist Church to the Sweet House. And they are not like those typical TV ghost hunting shows you might be familiar with. They spend days and even months researching and spending time at each location to kind of combine the history of the location as well as what they do find during their investigation. They even host tours and allow people to come along with them during these investigations as well. You can get to know a little bit more about the organization by checking out the full story over on our website. And you might have a lot of candy left over after tonight, as kids will spend hours trick-or-treating, bringing all of that home, and you might not even hand out all of that candy, even that full bag you just bought. While you could try and eat all of it, that might not be the right idea or even possible, but why not give it to a good cause? Soldiers Angels, a nonprofit that supports military members, veterans, and their families, has started Treats for Troops, and you can actually donate all of that leftover candy to those military members overseas. Last year, the program collected about 100,000 pounds of candy from people, and they are hoping to get about 150,000 this time around. Trick-or-treating might even be a little bit more difficult this year. Maybe not as difficult as last year, but due to the weather, things could be a little bit dicey. Let's now take a look at your forecast with the help of Storm Teammate meteorologist Scott Larson on what we can expect later this afternoon and evening.
Happy Halloween. We have some mild and windy conditions out there as we check out the scene in Grand Rapids. We do have a wind advisory that's going to snap into effect this afternoon. It lasts through 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday. Gusts likely up to about 40-45 miles per hour as those cut in from the west-southwest. Let's get a look at our trick-or-treating forecast. We do have some rain showers out there. Those will be winding down through the afternoon. There could be a pocket of drizzle or two as we get into this evening, but by and large things should be dry. Pretty comfortable with temperatures in the lower to middle 50s. And it looks like we will have a more seasonable pattern ahead as we shift into the month of November.
right, thank you, Scott. And we end with another Halloween-related story. The Nicku Babies at Trinity Health Grand Rapids and Helen DeVos Children's Hospital got in on the seasonal fun. They were dressed up by the hospital staffs and feature some really incredible photos. It makes for a happy moment for the families as well. You can find the full galleries of all the babies in their costumes right now just by checking out our galleries right now on woodtv.com. And as a reminder, Halloween is tonight, so if you're still looking for something fun to do this weekend to celebrate the holiday, or like I said, trick-or-treating, if you want to know what times you are allowed to trick-or-treat in your specific city here in West Michigan, you can find all of that information out right now over in the West Michigan Guide, which is over on woodtv.com. Highly encourage everybody to check it out. We've got tons of information.